Welcome back to SSA Talks. If you receive Social Security benefits, what I'm about to share with you could save you hundreds of dollars in unexpected taxes. As we transition into 2026, millions of beneficiaries are celebrating their 2.8% COLA increase without realizing that this so-called raise may actually cost them money. This is the hidden secret surrounding Social Security that catches people off guard every single year, and I'm going to break down exactly how it works. On the surface, the 2.8% cost of living adjustment sounds like great news. For the average Social Security beneficiary receiving a little over $2,000 monthly, this translates to approximately $56 more per month. More money in your pocket sounds wonderful, but here's the problem that most people don't see coming until it's too late. That modest $50 to $60 monthly raise can trigger a tax consequence that costs you $500 or more. This isn't speculation. This is the mathematical reality of how Social Security taxation works, and it blindsides countless beneficiaries every single year. Here's what happens. The tax thresholds that determine whether your Social Security benefits are taxable have not changed since the 1980s. That's over 40 years of inflation, cost of living increases, and economic changes. Yet these brackets have remained completely frozen. Every year, as COLA adjustments push benefits slightly higher, more and more beneficiaries get pushed over these outdated thresholds and suddenly find themselves owing taxes on benefits that were previously tax-free. Think about what this means in practical terms. The government gives you a $50 raise with one hand and then takes $500 or more back with the other through taxation. The phrase people use is accurate. They give with one hand and take away with the other. This is exactly that situation playing out in real time. Let me explain the specific numbers because understanding these thresholds is critical for every Social Security beneficiary. The taxation of your benefits depends on your combined income, which includes your adjusted gross income, any non-taxable interest, and half of your Social Security benefits. For individuals filing as single, the thresholds work as follows. If your combined income falls below $25,000, generally none of your Social Security benefit is subject to federal taxation. You're in the clear. However, once your combined income rises above $25,000, the situation changes dramatically. Between $25,000 and $34,000 of combined income, up to 50% of your Social Security benefit becomes taxable. And if your combined income exceeds $34,000, up to 85% of your benefit is taxable. For married couples filing jointly, the thresholds are slightly different. Combined income below $32,000 means your benefits are generally not taxable. Between $32,000 and $44,000, up to 50% of your benefits become taxable. And above $44,000, you're looking at up to 85% of your benefits being subject to federal income tax. Now consider what happens when your COLA increase pushes your income just above one of these thresholds. Someone who was $100 below the $25,000 limit suddenly finds themselves $56 above it because of the COLA adjustment. That small change doesn't just make $56 taxable. It can make a significant portion of their entire Social Security benefit taxable for the first time. This situation represents what can only be described as a nasty cycle that repeats every single year. The COLA is designed to help beneficiaries keep pace with inflation. However, because the tax thresholds don't adjust for inflation, more people get caught in the tax trap with each passing year. In the 1980s, when these thresholds were established, they were set at levels that exempted most Social Security beneficiaries from taxation. The intent was to tax only those with substantial additional income. But 4 decades later, with no adjustments for inflation, these thresholds now capture middle income and even modest income retirees who were never intended to pay taxes on their benefits. Every COLA increase, no matter how well-intentioned, pushes more beneficiaries over these frozen thresholds. It's a mathematical certainty that the problem gets worse each year, not better. What was once a tax affecting relatively few beneficiaries now impacts millions, and that number grows annually. The taxation issue would be concerning enough on its own, but it doesn't exist in isolation. For 2026, Medicare Part B premiums are also increasing significantly. The new monthly premium is $185 a year, representing an increase of $17.90 per month. That's a 9.6% increase, which translates to over $200 more per year just for your Medicare Part B coverage. Now let's do the math on what this means for your supposed raise. The average COLA increase is approximately $56 per month. The Medicare Part B premium increase is $17.90 per month. Before you even consider taxes, your $56 raise has already been reduced to roughly $38. And if the COLA pushed you into a taxable bracket, you could easily owe several $100s when you file your tax return. When you combine the Medicare premium increase with potential new tax liability, many beneficiaries will find that their 2.8% COLA didn't give them a raise at all. Some will actually end up with less purchasing power than they had before the adjustment. This is the bitter reality that doesn't make headlines, but affects real people in real kitchens and living rooms across the country. For beneficiaries who receive SNAP benefits, sometimes called food stamps, deposited onto an EBT card through the Supplemental Nutrition Assistance Program, there's yet another layer to this problem. SNAP eligibility and benefit amounts are tied to income levels. When your Social Security benefit increases due to COLA, your income has technically gone up in the eyes of the system. The consequence is predictable. Your SNAP benefits may be reduced because the program sees your higher Social Security payment and determines you now need less food assistance. The system doesn't recognize that your increased benefit is being consumed by higher Medicare premiums and potential tax liability. It simply sees higher income and responds by reducing your food assistance. For beneficiaries caught in this situation, the net effect of the COLA can actually be negative. Your Social Security goes up slightly, your Medicare premium takes a bigger bite, your SNAP benefits get reduced, and you might owe taxes you didn't owe before. At the end of this calculation, you could be worse off financially than you were before the raise was applied. Let's summarize what millions of beneficiaries face heading into 2026. First, the 2.8% COLA increases your benefit by approximately $56 monthly. Second, the Medicare Part B premium increase takes $17.90 of that back immediately. Third, for those near the tax thresholds, the COLA may push you into paying taxes on benefits that were previously tax-free, potentially costing $500 or more annually. And fourth, for SNAP recipients, benefit reductions may further erode any gains. This is the triple threat, or even quadruple threat, that no one adequately warns beneficiaries about. The announcements focus on the COLA percentage and the dollar increase. The consequences buried in tax code and program interactions rarely receive equal attention. Understanding why this happens helps explain the frustration so many beneficiaries feel. The COLA adjustment is automatic and tied to inflation measurements. Medicare premiums are set based on program costs and are adjusted annually. But the Social Security tax thresholds require congressional action to change, and Congress has not touched these thresholds in over 4 decades. There have been proposals over the years to either eliminate taxation of Social Security benefits entirely or to at least index the thresholds to inflation. None of these proposals have become law. Meanwhile, the gap between frozen thresholds and rising benefits grows wider every year, catching more beneficiaries in the tax net. This isn't an accident or oversight at this point. It's a structural feature of how the system operates, and beneficiaries bear the consequences. The revenue generated from taxing Social Security benefits helps fund Medicare and other programs, creating little incentive for legislative change. If you're a Social Security beneficiary, this information should prompt you to review your situation carefully. Calculate your combined income using the formula: adjusted gross income plus non-taxable interest plus half of your Social Security benefits. Compare that total to the thresholds relevant to your filing status. If you're near a threshold, understand that your COLA increase may push you over. This doesn't mean you should try to avoid the increase, as you can't opt out of COLA anyway. But you can prepare for the tax consequence and avoid being blindsided when you file your return. For those already above the thresholds, you're likely already paying taxes on your benefits, and the COLA simply increases the taxable amount slightly. The bigger impact falls on those crossing a threshold for the first time, where the percentage of taxable benefits jumps significantly. The 2.8% COLA for 2026 is real, and the extra money will appear in your benefit. But for millions of beneficiaries, that raise comes with strings attached that aren't visible until tax time arrives. The $50 that looks like a gift can transform into a $500 tax obligation. The Medicare premium increase takes its share, and for some, reduced SNAP benefits add further insult to injury. This is the hidden reality of Social Security that catches people off guard year after year. Knowledge is your best protection. Understand the thresholds, calculate your exposure, and plan accordingly. The system isn't going to protect you from these consequences. That responsibility falls on you. This is SSA Talks. Stay informed about the changes that actually affect your benefits, and we'll continue bringing you the truth about Social Security that you need to hear.